Tommy DeVito and the Giants' three-game winning streak came to an end on Sunday in New Orleans. New York Post sports columnist Mark Cannizzaro was at the game in the Big Easy, and he joins us now from there for some Giants football talk. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Dex. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. Rough day for DeVito and the Giants offense against the Saints. DeVito mania, it had been intensifying earlier this week, but the Giants quarterback was sacked 7 times on Sunday. Where is his confidence right now after this game?
You know, Tommy's a pretty confident guy. I don't think it's shaken that badly, in my opinion. We talked to him after the game a little while ago. What I noticed today, Dexter, was I thought the Saints defense did a great job of. This was a defense that had gotten hurt by a lot of scrambling quarterbacks. They play a lot of man-to-man, defense in the back end. And I thought, DeVito got 2 scrambles for like 14 and 15 yards, and that was about it. I thought they did a great job of hemming him in, because last week he killed the Packers with his scrambling. Obviously, he had 71 yards rushing last week, right? So I thought this. There's film on Tommy DeVito now, right? He was not the new sensation that nobody has film and nobody knows his tendencies. So that's the challenge for him, I think, going forward. And I think you saw that today. I thought that the Saints defense did a great job of looking at what Tommy did last week to hurt Green Bay and didn't allow that to happen today. And that's why you got the 7 sacks for 45 yards and losses, because he just wasn't able to get out. They just kind of hemmed him in and swallowed him up, and it was a tough day. Yeah, it was. Listen, he didn't get the team in the end zone, and that's how quarterbacks are judged.
That is how they're judged, and he wasn't able to hurt, as you said, the Saints with his legs. Now, DeVito, he still got more games to play this season, but what do you think the organization has learned from watching him under center, where he's 3-2 as a starter?
I think that what the Giants are finding is this guy is at the very least a very capable backup next year to Daniel Jones, if indeed Jones comes back, which I think we all expect he will. Contractually, it just doesn't make sense for the Giants to cut bait. I think that. This guy's won 3 games. I get it. Green Bay's a decent team, although I think they lost today. But it's not like he was beating a lot of really good teams either. So Patriots. So I don't want to temper what took place the previous 3 weeks, but it's not like he was knocking down powerhouses. But he is a guy that has got some skill and some poise and some confidence. He's got the arm talent, and so I think at the very least he's proven himself to be a dependable backup number 2 guy for next year. I think if he went out and lit it up here in New Orleans this afternoon and continued that, the Giants have 2 games against Philly coming up in the next 3 weeks. Then you can, if he really came out and was throwing 3 touchdowns and no picks, then you're making a case for yourself to be something more than a backup. But right now, that's what he looks like to me.
All right. Right now, it's a capable backup. I think Giants fans would take that in terms of his development. And the Giants, they still have slim playoff hopes, very, very slim right now. But what should Big Blue fans be keeping an eye on with DeVito as he plays for the rest of the 2023 season, Mark? You mentioned a couple of games coming up against Philly. Fans who are looking at his development, what should they watch over the next couple of weeks?
Well, I think you watch how he bounces back next week and on Christmas Day in Philly. That's a tall task. It wasn't good out there today, and it wasn't all his fault either. The offensive line was awful, and the Giants couldn't get anything going in the running game. But, I think this is a learning moment for him. It was all, the hand gestures and all that kind of stuff, and the mania with his agent and his parents and his brother and the whole family thing. Now, let's see how he bounces back after an uneven performance today. He had 2 throws that he told me after the game that he really regretted, and that are going to keep him up tonight. One of them was the first play of the game when he tried to go deep to Darius Slayton and just he kind of underthrew him there, and he also badly overthrew Darren Waller in the 4th quarter. Again, the game was not was a little bit out of reach by then, but those are 2 throws that he said he's got to make, and let's see if he makes those throws next week in Philly. Let's see him get in the end zone in Philly. The Giants, as we know, historically in the last number of years, have not beaten Philly very often, if at all. So, the Phillies, the Eagles, kind of eat the Giants for lunch. So let's see how Tommy bounces back next week and for the next 3 weeks, really. I mean, all he can do in the next 3 weeks is solidify himself for that roster position next year. And that's what he's looking for. I mean, the Giants are not making the playoffs. I mean, even coming in today, it was, it was a scant, and not very realistic possibility. Now at this point, you're not going to make the playoffs with 9 losses.
Not going to happen at all, but things to watch. You can watch his development, like you said, see if he can solidify himself as a backup quarterback on the team for next season. That is Mark Cannizzaro joining us from the Big Easy, talking some Giants football. Mark, great work as always. Safe travels home. We will talk soon.
Thanks, Dexter. Talk to you soon.